Hello. Oh, no, I can't hear you.
The rookie mistake of not unmuting myself. Can you hear me now?
No, I did that a couple weeks ago and I was like, really? In this day and age?
I do that all the time. I
Ah.
think no successful stream if you've not done that at least once.
Oh, I've done it. I've done it a bunch.
I see a lot of hellos in the chat. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, lots of enthusiasm.
Cecily, I know you've been running a lot of content this week. How is it for you?
I have. It's been really exciting. We debuted a bunch of new content that normally I run at events, so it was really nice to actually run it on Global Hack Week, see if I really know my stuff and if I can get some new questions, and I did. Honestly, that was really fun. It was nice to have my brain cells take a little bit of a back seat because I knew most of the workshops instead of having to plan a lot out. It was a break in a way.
Nice. Did you have a favorite? A favorite question?
Mm. Favorite workshop? Probably the Figma workshop because I really love design and it's so interesting to see how people approach it.
Uh-huh.
And just being able to show them like different pathways they could take because everyone designs differently. But favorite question? Ooh, that's a good question. uh let's come back to that. Let's see if I remember the questions I've been asked because I have run a bunch of streams and they're all blurring together.
Let's do that. And in the chat, if all of you have a favorite stream or a favorite question, favorite moment, favorite time talking to other hackers on Discord, let us know in the chat. We'll be really happy to sit down and discuss, feature you here on the stream. We'll do all of that good stuff today. But I know we have a lot to cover today, Cecilia. Do you think we should get started?
I very much do because boy, do we have a lot.
Let's get started then. Well, before anything else, let's introduce ourselves. I'll go first. If we have not met each other yet, my name is Siddharth. I work as a first party events coordinator at Major League Hacking. That just means that I get to work on all of the amazing digital hackathons, global hack weeks, all of the cool things that we run completely by ourselves and give all of you that opportunity to come have a good time on our Discord, going to our digital events, or global hack weeks that you've been attending for. And I should say a lot of you have come for this global hack week, though. I'm really excited to see that. My fun highlight here is that I'm going to a hackathon in India next week. If any of you in the chat here is going to a hackathon, let us know. If you're going to the same one, let me know that you're going to be there. And I know a lot of people here just by your names on Discord, just by usernames on Discord, and I would love to really walk up to you and see you all in person. It's a lovely feeling altogether.
Getting a little meet and greet going. I'm actually also at an event this weekend, but I don't expect many folks from the Global Hack Week to be there. But my name is Cecilia. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. I think we're coming up on 2 years actually, but I've been with MLH for a very, very long time. I was an organizer beforehand. But I just defended my PhD on hackathons last semester. So I am doctor in name, but not official. I've got some revisions left, but everyone else calls me doctor. So I'm like, well, if everybody else is rounding,
I can't wait to have you as Dr. Cecilia on the slides the next time we do this.
ooh, that's some these. That's some incentive there because I've been dragging my feet on revisions. Having to look back at your life's work is exhausting.
Sweet. I know a lot of you in the chat have been to Major League Hacking events. You've been through the week with us for Global Hack Week. But if this is your first time joining a stream and you don't exactly know what Major League Hacking means, I want to spend a little bit of time here to explain what we do. We run the global hacker community, and it's our mission to empower hackers just like all of you here who've come to Global Hack Weeks, who've attended a mini event, who've gone to digital hackathons or in-person hackathons too. And by being here, you've joined a community of over 1 million hackers. I know that number keeps increasing, and I'm always excited to tell you all that it's 1 million people now, 1 million hackers all across the globe now. We are here to wrap up AI/ML week. I'm sure you have your favorite moments, and I'm still keeping eye on the chat to know what your favorite moments are. And I can see someone said the mini events are overpowered and a lot of
Mm,
interesting things. Oh, congrats to you, Cecilia.
thank you.
See, so
Good.
what we do here is we take a look back and we go through each day to see what we've been doing, what all of you together have been doing, all the fun stuff. And let's get started with day one. The first workshop that you went to right after opening was this one with the Auth0 team where you created a secure RAG application. I was there watching this live and I thought, one did a really good job in explaining all the essential stuff. I know LLMs, RAGs, all of those words have been a lot of hype, but there are people who don't understand, me included. This was a very, very, very good workshop, and one had a very good set of slides there to explain what it is. A very beginner friendly stream, I would say. So if you've not really watched the stream yet, go to our YouTube channel. All the recordings are up there. Go watch it. Give us feedback, of course. We'll learn a lot more things. And I even learned about something called as FGA, which is fine grained authorization, if I remember this correctly. And this is my first time hearing that. Have you heard of that, Cecilia?
I actually haven't. Surprisingly, LLMs is actually one of the fields I have not really dug into yet, but I am
Mhm.
very excited to get started. I'm definitely going to look back at those streams so I can use that as my startup.
Of course. So, yes, I'll recommend everybody in the chat also to go back and watch and let us know how you felt that workshop went. Next up, we had two workshops from the folks at Oracle. The first one here was Maria, who walked us through what AI vector search is. If you've started your journey with AIML, I'm sure you did start your journey with AIML last week. You would have gotten to learn a lot about vectors, vector searches, cosine similarities, all of that stuff. All of that was being discussed over here, but also with relation to Oracle and Oracle database, Oracle Cloud. Maria talked to us about how unstructured data has grown overall in the last few years, and how AI is helping with these searches. If you are considering building a hack that's maybe around the lines of a lot of unstructured data, getting together, searching using AI, or even using Oracle, I would highly recommend going and watching this stream, the recording, and getting all the good things that you can from the stream. We also had another stream happen this week, which was with Mark and Sherry, who got started with Oracle machine learning. And this was a lot about ML use cases, different techniques that's used in the industries. And we also got to see what Oracle ML Notebook looks like. If you've done a lot of AI ML stuff, you probably have used notebooks, Jupyter notebooks. Some of those names might be familiar to you. But we got to see how cool it is to be using those notebooks inside of Oracle. You just have to click a button and it's just get started. And thank you for pointing that out. I never realized that the banner always keeps going there. But yeah, really two cool workshops that went around during the week. I highly recommend going and checking those out. Next up, we had one with the Tiny MC team. Cecilia, do you want to tell us about that?
Sure. I jumped the gun thinking, oh, it's mine. No, it's not. But this was actually a workshop where you were working on an email editor with the Tiny MCE team. And so if you haven't heard of Tiny MCE, they're really aiming to help make rich text editing components, make them more accessible for you. And so they hosted a wonderful workshop where it was Marina. And so I do believe they also at one point used an AI extension to help her write the code and make it more accessible. So if you are finding that you're struggling, want a better guide, definitely check out that workshop because she told you all sorts of tips and tricks, not just with Tiny MCE, but with plenty of the extensions that she was using throughout the workshop. And then, surprise, this one's actually mine. You got good with Git with me, where we launched the second instance of our Getting Good with Git workshop. Our goal is to help you understand concepts and make sure that you can actually walk through and not be scared of the terminal or Visual Studio Code, depending on what you're using to interact with Git. We then got introduced to Python programming with, surprise, it was me again, where our goal was just to make sure that you knew what you could possibly do with Python. So far, all of our various coaches, our sponsors, have generally talked about notebooks, Python, etc. And so I really wanted to make sure that you had an overview of all the different things you could do depending on where you might pivot your direction to, whether it's into video game development and you're integrating an AI bot to it, or you're just getting started with full stack, or you want to go deep into LLM, AI, machine learning, more of the research prototypey side of things. And so that was the goal, just give you a broad overview so that way when other people brought it up, you weren't like, whoa, I've never heard this before. You're like, oh yeah, Cecilia may have mentioned something like this. This is something I actually have an idea of and I'm able to get into it. Then we also learned how to XKCDify our plots using matplotlib. This is something that we carried on into a future stream that we'll mention much later, but this was actually something that a hacker had put together and tagged me on the Discord so I could put this into Today in Global Hack Week back on day 2, I believe. Then you kickstarted the finance with Python track with UT. I think there were 5 sessions with UT for this. Very intense, but I know he taught you all the tips and tricks. He was going through Jupyter Notebook, so remember that preview probably helped you out in knowing what you were looking at, getting a chance to do some pre-prep before his workshop. But he was mostly, at this instance, teaching you more about finances and stocks and really getting a feel for working with the data. And then you came back to me where you worked on Figma to learn how to use dev mode. So we focused on a UI card project where my goal was not only to teach you how to make your first UI card, but also what it looks like in the broader field of design, how you would use it, when you would use it, and more other design concepts. So that way you can learn to break them on purpose, which is the benefit of design. Once you learn all those principles, you've got them down pat, then you can start breaking them on purpose to draw the audience's attention. And if you want to take over for day 2, Siddharth.
For sure, but I think it's you again.
Oh, no, you're right. All right, then with our usual GitHub Copilot workshop, if you haven't had a chance to see it, we run it every Global Hack Week, so there's plenty of chances to look into how you might use Copilot. And if for whatever reason I'm not the most explanatory person, or you didn't get a chance to ask me a question, check back at future Global Hack Weeks. We will always run this to make sure that you have the best resources available, the making sure that you have a chance to understand what you're working with and get ahead in your hacks. And if you still want to have your questions possibly answered, check out past Global Hack Week Copilot streams. When other coaches have run it, I'm sure they bring fresh new perspectives and different tips and insights to that stream. Okay, I think this is not me. I think this might be Kari.
It is, yes. So then Kari took over to discuss ways to better use AI in your hackathon projects. And Kari started off by narrating this really interesting story where she went to hackathons and people asked her how they could integrate AI into their projects. The most that she has seen people use AI in their hacks was asking questions to ChatGPT and then maybe just using code directly from there. But she wanted to use this stream as a way to tell people of how you can really directly do everything inside of your code editor, ask questions. And if you were around for the AIML week opening ceremony, you may have seen Ryan, someone who's a former team, come around and show you what Gen AI can do and how you can use all of the good stuff of Gen AI inside of your code editor. Kari here did something like that, something similar, but in a very bigger scale. Kari actually built a full-fledged, or I should say, almost full-fledged mobile app with it. I think that the idea of having a finance app was from the chat. Someone from the chat recommended it, but this turned out to be a really interesting session. And I also saw a lot of banter about it on Discord and people appreciating that effort. And I saw a lot of fans of AI also coming back and saying, "Hey, I never realized this. This is all the cool things that AI can do for me." Yeah, this is another stream that I think you should definitely go back and watch on YouTube, because the next hackathon that you go to, you're going to use all of these tools, all of the magic that AI has to give you, and that will definitely help you be much more successful and much more faster in the process of development. Next up, we wrap the finance track with QT again. Like Cecilia said, this was a 5-part stream, really intense. Cecilia, at the beginning of AIML week, told you a little bit about the Python language, told you a little bit about how graphs and all that work. And UT really deep dive to tell you how you can use data to visualize, to analyze, to do all of the different magical things that you see happening with data all around the globe, and really demonstrated how you can make this happen for a real world use case for fintech. We really love to see how much UT spends time here. UT also does a lot of back-to-back streams, back-to-back 2-hour streams each. And we really appreciate UT putting in so much effort to come back in and every time introduce something new that UT is learning, something new that UT is exploring. He'd always come back and spend some time with our Global Hack Week community to teach them that as well. So I really, really, really appreciate the work that UT puts in. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Figma dev mode, but with Way this time?
I don't know how much different it is. I didn't actually get a chance to catch it, but I would imagine that Wei once again brought a new perspective in how you. Okay, actually, I think he did a better job. I haphazardly chose colors, so I think Wei probably had way more purposeful design approaches rather than just my like you can pick anything. So it looks like Wei had a great time. Setting up those UI cards. It looks like he was using another hackathon photo. I wonder actually if like those Figma workshops, as they come up more often in future Global Hack Weeks, people should see if they can find a hacker photo. Not just, just again, the way to bring the community to our workshops. We get to see a lot of different folks working lots of different things. It might also be a stock image, but it really does look like a hackathon. But basically, repeat. If you didn't like my workshop, check out Ways, vice versa. Of course, these are both recorded and available on YouTube. So if you find that you might need a little bit of extra help and one of us just does a better job, go for it. The point of running this so many times is to give you that diverse perspective and making sure that you get all the little tips and tricks you could possibly gather across many people rather than just one.
That's correct. That wraps up day 2, and we're now moving on to day 3. We kicked off day 3 with a stream on AI chatbots on Streamlit, and this was Jocelyn coming in to do a really good job in building that chatbot. I think this was a 2-part stream where Jocelyn walked you through not just using AI and building chatbots, but also how do you do all of that in Streamlit. Streamlit, if you're not familiar with it, I would really recommend going and watching this stream and understanding how Streamlit works, because if you're going to an MLH hackathon sometime in the near future, you're probably going to be seeing a Streamlit category prize at that event. And this, I think, will be a really good opportunity for you to learn that tech, learn how development on Streamlit is done, and be prepared to go into that hackathon and apply to the category prize. And you can also always win that category prize. So make sure you go watch that stream recording. Jocelyn is also one of our newer Global Hack Week streamers, but she does a really good job in getting technical content together and presenting it in a very beginner-friendly manner. And while you all went to that stream and watched it, I also noticed hackers building their own versions of the AI chatbot, and we love to see it. We love every time that you all come back and either send it to us on DevPost or post on Discord and tell us that you are really going through it and really doing it. It not only helps us understand that you're interested in it, it also really motivates the streamers, because they know that you've been there, you've been listening, you've been recreating your own version of it. And I'm sure, Cecilia, you can also talk a little bit about how motivated you were to see someone do the same things that you were showing off.
Oh, yeah. It inspired me to get it working on my desktop for the stream that I had that was coming up later. I was like, oh, I just can't get it working on stream. I'll just give it up. And then I saw it and I'm like, no, now I have to. Now everyone must know. I wanted to share the knowledge.
Exactly. That was what I was talking about. Next up, we had another stream with the Auth0 team, and this time we were building a secure agentic RAG application. Agents, again, something that's very popular, and I know there were 2 instances here that we talked a little bit about agents. One when Deepu from the Auth0 team was around, and we also had another agentic AI workshop somewhere later in the week. We'll talk about that a little later. But this one here, Deepu ran us through a full-fledged demo of how you can build an agentic RAG application and how to make it absolutely secure using Auth0. And we used the FGA thing that I talked about earlier. We used something called Llama Index. All of these words, I'm sure you've heard of that somewhere. You've heard of that at an AI conference or an AI stream that you've gone through. Again, a really good opportunity for you to go back and at least learn those topics, understand what those mean. And if you're feeling even more excited and interested, just go ahead and give those a shot. Get to see how all of that comes into picture when you do that on your laptop and do that yourself. Well, next up, I think we had Stephen. Do you want to tell us a little about that?
Yeah, so Stephen actually told me a little bit about this during Today in Global Hack Week, but he ran a couple streams where he was pretty much building up LLMs, starting from scratch, starting from the bottom, teaching all the things you know. I think at the time, he told me that they were continuing a transformer example that they were working on. And so I know that he was really making sure that you understood the basics. Slide mishap. Where he was really helping you understand like what their impact is, what they are, giving you the background that you may not necessarily have had initially. So I know he ran through that most of that day, actually. But as we get into day 4, we also came back to me and explored Matplotlib more in depth to give you a better idea of what's out there. I really did only use tutorial code, but my goal was to make sure that you understood how to play with it, how to re-render things. We did, in fact, get XKCD font working, explained all the things that I was missing that maybe you were missing. The weird like self-ception is kind of off here, but yeah, it was a very short stream. It was an hour long, so we made it sure that it was chock full of information that you could take on to future streams, your current projects, or just a way to get started with trying things out. And then we continued to build your own LLM from scratch with Stephen. Again, this was supposed to carry on from the previous workshop. I know he was like, all right, I'm here. It's Today in Global Hack Week, and then back to my stream. So he had a very busy day when he was with me that day. But again, covered more key points, showed you more about how to build up from that, and what are the things that you need to make it a successful LLM. And then you started working on your first AI powered mobile app. So, this is Kari again, our queen of mobile applications. If you ever want to learn mobile in a very consumable way, a very easy way, check out Kari's streams, whether they're recordings or come back in chat so you can ask her all of the questions. She lives and breathes mobile. And it's so cool to watch her work. But yeah. And then continuing on, we got introduced to ROS, otherwise known as the Robotics Operating System. And this was by, oh gosh, I can't read the name. Oh
Shabal.
no. Sharble. Oh, you know what? They must be new. That's probably why I'm like,
Yes,
who?
that's correct.
Why don't you launch us into that then?
Yes, this was Chabal's second Global Hack Week. You probably saw him at the one in January, Beginners Week, doing a couple
Ooh,
of mini events. But this time around, Chabal was feeling brave enough and wanted to do a couple of robotic workshops or robotic operating system workshops. This first one was just getting you started with what robotic operating system means, and it was completely new for me. I had no clue that something like that even existed.
really?
Yeah, sounds like you are pretty much into it.
I know about it. So I've spent a lot of time in embedded systems, and so ROS comes up for a lot of folks who are in industry. And so I know about it. I know it exists. I know there's some tension between whether you use ROS 1 versus ROS 2. I don't know if anybody in chat's going to react to that, but I do know that it is extremely popular for anyone doing autonomous robotics or robotics in general. They always come back to this.
And I completely forgot that you are a hardware person. This was a very wrong question to ask a hardware person.
No, I haven't actually used it yet. So I'm a weird hardware person in that regard, but I don't actually work with robotics. It's been a pipe dream for when I have time. So maybe after I finish my revisions, I'll finally get back into robotics. I've always wanted to build a mini Mars rover because they have a kit for that, but it's really expensive. Really expensive.
But if you happen to build any, we would love to have you come around and
Oh,
display something
absolutely.
at Global Hack Week. So we post on Discord, get people excited.
That's true. I'll have to see if I can come up with some. Well, we'll come back to that question maybe.
We will, sure.
And then continuing on, we have day 5, where you got introduced to agents in AI. And so that was Abdullah. I actually don't know much about this stream. Do you, Siddharth?
Yeah, this one was about agents again. I remember I told you we had two different instances where we talked about agents and got to know what agents are. From what I know, bare minimum of AI and agents. Agents help you do the jobs that you want your AI models to be doing. This is a super hot topic right now. A lot of people are talking of it. A lot of companies are working around building agents for AIs and making all of the different tasks that you want your AI to do really make it happen for real. You would want to go to this workshop for sure if you are interested in AI, if you're trying to build a career in AI, or you're just exploring that world to maybe build another hackathon project. Go visit this, check out Abdullah's stream. This was a really, really, really beginner friendly one, but also a very fun one because you got to not just learn. And the good part about AI/ML streams is that you cannot just jump into that topic, but you have to learn a lot about the basics. So all of these streamers who were online, giving you all of that content, explained a lot of related concepts that I think was the best thing about this week. So make sure you use all of that time to grasp all of the good stuff that they had to give you. And then Alberto was here. Cecilia, do you want to take this up?
Sure. So I actually had this, you know what? Remember that you asked me about what was my favorite question? So it's not quite a
Uh-huh.
question, but I did have a statement. Somebody jumped into my matplotlib chat and said, I thought this was MATLAB. And I'm like, no, this is matplotlib. Slightly different, but wrong language too, but we're getting there. But I did enjoy that. I think that was actually one of our regular Global Hack Week hackers.
Mhm.
But there, we came back to it finally. We picked up that one. But as for Alberto, he is also our MATLAB expert. He's always got a stream, if not every Global Hack Week, if it might be every other. But he definitely uses it for machine learning. And so it looks like you were working on convolutions for multi-layer networks. Ooh, that's very cool. I'm getting distracted. So looks like you were getting the basics about working with things, and then again, this is Alberto's bread and butter with MATLAB. I'm sure he gave you all the tips and tricks for MATLAB and also doing machine learning while on it. If you want to talk more about TinyMCE, Siddharth.
Sure. But before that, I would want to highlight this comment here, which says they got to add vector search to their MLH fellowship project, which I think is a real cool addition. And we always talk about going to a global hack week, learning all of those skills and putting that into real use. This is one such use where you not only just learn, but you're completely hands-on, build a project really quickly, and apply to different programs that run for you. MLH fellowship being one of those examples. We really, really love to see it. Cecilia, I'm feeling a little excited here. Do you think we should do a swag drop here and give this person a swag?
Are
A
we doing
surprise.
swag drops now? I remember we talked about that last time I did closing with you. Is it? I would say yes, personally. I'm
Awesome.
biased though. I'm always a fan of giving free stuff to people.
Let's do that then. For
Suddenly our
you,
viewer count jumps up.
congratulations, you got yourself a surprise prize. All you have to do is take a screenshot, go to Discord, look for support tickets, open up a ticket, and tell us that you won one swag drop. I'll be back in a little later after the opening ceremony to add you to the list. But congratulations. Thank you so much for. And this is not only because you were going to an MLH fellowship project, but I really love to see all of you putting what you learn into direct use. And I think I was really excited to read this one. We'll do more of these swag drops if, in case you all want to still hang around. But that's going to be a surprise, and I shouldn't have told that yet. But we will do
Mhm.
probably some more somewhere. But getting back to the stream,
So Tiny MC, tell me more.
yes, yes. So we built another email editor, this time on a framework called Laravel. And like Cecilia mentioned, it was not just about getting to know how to use TinyMC or integrate that into your hack, but this time around, the streamers from TinyMC were there to tell you a lot more about how to use AI, you use AI tools. And this was also similar to the Gen AI demo that Ryan did at opening, the stream that Kari did about how you integrate AI into your hackathon projects, where all the streamers and their efforts this time around was to show you, hey, you have a lot of products in hand, you have a lot of ideas, a lot of projects that you want to build. How do you really do this in a more efficient way, in a faster way, and how do you really get everything together, even if you don't know a lot about it yet? So I really appreciate this person from the All Zero team coming in around to tell us everything that is
Tiny
really exciting
MC.
about MC. Uh, yes, sorry, to tell us everything about TinyMC and getting us excited about all the cool AI stuff that was also attached to the stream. What's the next one?
Looks like we've got Vision Transformers with Steven, which personally I'm a fan because it is actually related to computer vision. And so Vision Transformers seem to be a lot of what helped revolutionize NLP. Again, Steven goes way into depth in this. I really should be checking out more of Steven's streams to catch myself up because I'm a little out of date on a number of things. But I know that he is, again, always chock full of information, super enthusiastic. He's definitely got a lot to share. Ooh, awesome. Looks like people really enjoyed the stream. We love to see it. And then we have day 6. I think that is, in fact, our last day. You dived into AI in ROS with Charbel, continuing on with what you were working on. Looks like you were doing hand motion tracking, a classic, have to admit. And then you built your first recommendation system. And I believe this was Jocelyn's makeup stream, perhaps, because I know she had to delay some things. But it looks like you were making a techie match. I really like the coloring on this. This is adorable. And then you segmented satellite images with Abdullah. Ooh, this takes me back to some when I first got started into computer vision. But this is a great way of how you might identify specific features. And so I actually once upon a time did image segmentation, but this is not about me. This is about Abdullah, who I'm sure gave a wonderful beginner stream, making sure that you can get familiar with how you might use GIS or geographical images that are, I think it's geographical imagery satellite something. I always forget. But the point is, there is plenty of open source data out there that you could make your own project leveraging GIS and other softwares. And then you worked on challenges. Siddharth, I think you have the most visibility here if you want to take over.
You all worked on a lot of challenges, but we wanted to feature a few of them so you really know that you still have time to go back and attempt all of those and win swag at this point. But we'll get to that a little later. But let's feature a few of them while we are talking of it. Firstly, you use this tool called GitHub Copilot to explain someone else's code to you. And I had no clue you could do that as well. We kept talking about using AI to, or Gen AI and tools like that to use to get code for you and help you make things faster for you. But I never thought of using that to explain someone else's code to you. Imagine you're doing open source contribution today and you don't really know where exactly is the fix that you would want to do. And all the different things that you would want to do on someone else's code, right? GitHub Copilot and a hacker here really used that to explain someone else's code. And I'm sure you did want to make a few changes here and there. You did a few feature requests as well. If you're in the chat, let us know how you used it. If not, I think we'll find out a little later sometime. Uh, Going on, we also did a lot with Figma plugins, and this was related to Figma Dev Mode. Cecilia, do you want to talk a little bit about that because you ran a stream on Figma Dev Mode?
Yeah, so we actually didn't get into plugins too much, but I did at least showcase that you can add different plugins depending on what kind of UI you're working on. So some people might be like Kari working in like Flutter or other mobile-friendly languages like Swift. And those are, I think, available by default. But then you also have folks like me who do full stack who would be more comfortable with like HTML, CSS that's generated from our layouts. And then there are plenty of other ways that you can use extensions and plugins on Figma, whether it's that it's community built or default to available by Figma. I actually really haven't had a chance to explore their plugins yet. I've been very like, bare bones design. I have complete control, which I think is a byproduct of me just having the design experience. But I can definitely see folks who are a little more uncomfortable with design definitely getting the most use out of these plugins because they take the hard part out of it until you're ready to be like, hey, these aren't enough. I need a little more. And then they can actually like choose where they dig in.
Sure.
And some people said actually that they use their VS Code extension. Neat. I still have not used it. I'm kind of like being a bit of a Luddite about it, where I'm like, it's weird and magical. I don't understand, but it's coming. I'll use it one day. I just need to, be brave.
All right, moving on. We had another challenge, which is for you to recognize digits, and I think specifically handwritten digits. And I could see someone used a model, built a model, trained a model to predict six. I think they got it right. Yes, looks like the model was fairly accurate, and you did a really good job. If you're here in the chat, let us know, and we would really want to give you a shout out. You all also shared your work setup for this week, and I'm very excited to see all the photos on social media when you all share all the different fancy setup. And there's a mix of it, right? There are people who would want to do very minimalistic kind of setup. Like here, you have a laptop, but you're really dedicated. You have those cute sticky notes of all different shapes there to remind you of things that you need to get done. There are also a lot of folks who have a lot of different hardware all around with a lot of lighting. I'm very, very excited. Not so much of a hardware person myself, don't understand a lot of hardware myself, but I really love to watch people do hardware whenever I get a chance. You will also claim digital swag. Cecilia, have you seen digital swag yet?
I have. I actually introduced it at Slaying Global Hack Week. Some folks had some screenshots in our presentation, so I got to see this week's digital swag, and I love the pastel gradient. Like I'm just obsessed with it. It just looks so good. It makes my design heart happy.
I know, right? And I was also very excited to send this out. I think we've been doing this for a couple of Global Hack Weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen a lot of you posting pictures with this frame. And if you've not done it yet, you still have a chance. You can go to mlh.link/GHW, which is short for Global Hack Week. Go to that link, scroll all the way down. You will see a small little pop-up there or card there, which would say that you can claim your swag by clicking on it. Just go there, download it, put your image into it, and you should be able to post this online. We really love to see all the excitement that you bring to all the social media platforms that you use. And yeah, we're really excited to see this also come in. Next up, now that you've gone to a lot of these streams, a lot of workshops, technical streams, mini events, we would really want you to come back and tell us how you liked all of the stream. This is for us to understand what you're excited about, but this also helps us understand how we can improve all of the content that all of our streamers have been doing, and not just all the streamers that you've been visiting throughout the week. It's also for us who run the opening ceremony. It's also for us who run the closing ceremony. Overall, and thank you for the link, but overall, it really, really, really helps us understand everything that you're feeling when you're going to these streams. And this is a very short one, somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes is my best guess. We're also going to do another swag drop, another secret that I just revealed. We're going to do one swag drop. We're going to raffle it off to one person who's going to, for one person who, out of everybody who fills off that Global Hack Week feedback form, we're going to probably do that tomorrow. So you have one more day to get your feedback in, but really help us make Global Hack Weeks even better. Do you want to talk about swag?
Ooh, do I? Yes, I do. So, swag. You've probably been curious about it, asking about it throughout the week, and I know our coaches and various presenters at Today in Global Hack Week have probably answered some of your questions. But if you're still not sure, you can earn your basic swag by registering and checking in to mlh.link/GHW Global Hack Week. You submit an address at mlh.link/address. This just makes sure that your address is updated in our system so we can send you things as soon as we can. And you complete the featured challenges by our partners. So some of them might be like TinyMCE or Auth0 or Oracle. I'm not sure if those are actually, they're at least partners who have definitely been giving workshops and I think might be part of the partner challenges. And if you want bonus swag, check into at least 5 live events. So making sure that when our coaches or our presenters paste that registration link that you are there, checking in, ready to go. The sooner you get those done, the sooner you can get your swag sorted out, your points, etc. And before we get into what's next, I did see a very quick question asking, do we still have time to do some of the partner challenges?
And the answer is a yes. We are not going to close a submission for, I think I was going to close it tomorrow, but we're going to keep it open until the end of the weekend. So you have until Monday to go do all of the partner challenges. You can still sign up, check in, you can still update your address on the address form, do all of that, make sure that you get hold on the basic swag. If you have any trouble doing any of that, just let us know by creating a Discord ticket. But the short answer is yes, you still have time to do that.
I don't remember there being so much extra time. What a terrible time for me to be a coach. I could have been, getting all the Global Hack Week swag all this time.
Maybe you could also have created a Discord ticket and let us know.
That's true.
You missed it.
Well, hindsight's 2020. All right. Well, let's look to the future then. What's next for us? In March, we'll be exploring Cloud Global Hack Week. Do you want to talk a little more about that, Siddharth?
I know everybody here knows how important cloud has become. We are storing our data on cloud. We are hosting our applications on cloud. We are doing everything on cloud. This is not just for all of you who are learning cloud as a technology to upskill yourself, but if you are maybe looking for an internship or getting ready for getting into a new job, this is definitely very, very important. I'm sure a lot of those interviews that you're going to get into when you are job hunting will involve cloud and cloud technologies. We're going to do a lot of deep dive into cloud technology on the whole in this week, which starts on March 7th all the way through March 13th. Make sure you are there. You can also register to all of these. We'll tell you a little later of how you can register, but we wanted to reveal the theme. And I think you already knew of it from the last Global Hack Week, but we have one new theme that we're going to reveal, which is going to come in a little later. But before we get there, what is happening in April?
Looks like April is for APIs. So if you're not familiar, API is Application Programming Interface. So it'll be April 11th to the 17th. But if you find that you need data or you want to pull from your database, or you might be pulling from someone else's, even if you wanted just like a random word generator, like on the Lorem Ipsum, APIs are there to help you out. And so if you're not really sure how to integrate other people's work into yours or even other libraries or other structures, other etc. There's a wide range of APIs here. You can pick anything you might want. And our coaches will be helping you out with getting integrated with other things. Might be a great chance to integrate what you learned from Cloud Week and API Week together into an even better project. Now, I believe that's all we have. No, we have one more.
We have one more, yes. And in May, for the first time you hear it here, we are going to deep dive into open source, and we have that as a theme. I know October is the month where everybody gets excited over open source, but we thought, uh, why not have two different occasions when we can celebrate open source? Because we know all of us here love open source, all of us love open source ecosystem maintainers and all the good work that they do. So we thought we will go ahead and also introduce you to open source technologies. And if you already know of it, get you excited, get you all the different chances that you can get to work on open source projects, to go start them if you're not feeling like taking up technical challenges yet. But we're going to do a lot of technical content and a lot of beginner friendly content during Open Source Week to get you ready for all of the different programs that you're going to work on by the time of Hacktoberfest in October when you get there. So make sure you sign up for this one as well, which will happen between May 9th and May 15th. Before we get further, I can see a question here in the chat, which talks about any specific cloud provider. And I think this is related to us running Cloud Week in March. We will have a lot of different streamers come in, and all of these streamers will have their own proficiencies. They will be used to working on different cloud providers. So you will find a huge variety of these clouds platforms being used during that week. So I think you will find a huge variety. You will get to learn a lot more platforms. But if you have anything specific in mind, and if there's a platform that you're looking forward to learn, tell us that in the chat, and I'm going to do my best to go reach out to all of the streamers that we have and find someone who knows that technology to come back and teach you that and talk to you more about that.
And so, if you'd like to sign up for any of our upcoming Global Hack Weeks, check out ghw.mlh.io. That will also give you all the information you could possibly need as we get closer to the upcoming Global Hack Week. So, keep checking back for more info as you go through things. And if you'd like to find more hackathons, check out mlh.io/events. There are plenty of hackathons near you, hopefully, and if not, consider checking out our digital events as well. MLH definitely hosts a few of those at least once a month. And again, consider checking out Global Hack Week if you find that things just aren't quite meeting what your needs are. And we've just launched our community census. So if you want a chance to win even more swag, which didn't think was possible, but here we are, fill out the community census at mlh.link/community-census-fall-2024. Siddharth, if you could drop that link in the chat. That way folks are not just manually typing what I've just said. Then check out the community census. We use that to help update our numbers, help find out who are we serving and how can we best serve you. And with that, we have plenty of thank yous to give out. I do believe first up we have our coaches. We have Alberto, Charbel, and Jocelyn, one very veteran streamer and some of our newer streamers. Thank you so much for the detailed streams that you've given and the wonderful times that you've shared with our hackers. We then have UT, Quinn, and Kari, each who have done their own lengthy variations of streams and also showed off their specialties this week. Then we have Abdullah, Emily, and Vinayak, who have definitely, again, shared their specialties, had lots of fun, hosted some mini events, and generally had a great time. And of course, Wei, Steven, and Yashka, who, again, went super in-depth. We love all the work you all have been doing to give our hackers the best possible background they need to make better hacker projects. And then we have Aziman and Kevin. I'm not going to weirdly thank myself because it's awkward, but thanks to them for running so many mini events. I know Aziman has always been doing the origami ones, and I've been really meaning to check that one out.
I'm going to step in here and quickly thanks Cecilia for running all the different content that she's run. And a lot of those were also last minute requests from us where we were trying to find coverage. And Cecilia said, hey, I can come in and cover that for you. If you are here, if you're listening to us right now, drop some thank you, Cecilia, because Cecilia did a lot of good stuff during this week, helped you all learn so much during the stream. And I'm pretty sure she's also been streaming a lot of streams during the last Global Hack Week as well. So let's just flood the chat with thank you, Cecilia, and I can see that coming already.
Cute.
Let's go. Sorry to hijack that.
No, you're good.
Cool. But last but not the least, I'd want to thank the three people here on the slide, Rosendo, Ryan, and Mary. Rosendo, if you're not familiar with him already, thank you. Sorry, caught me off guard, but if you're not familiar with Rosendo already, Rosendo works as a customer success manager here, which means that Rosendo works with all of the amazing partners that you see at Global Hack Weeks, and Rosendo is the person who works with them to get you all of the resources all for free. So make sure that whenever you see Rosendo around, maybe it's for a stream that he's moderating during Global Hack Weeks, or if you happen to see him around at one of our digital events or in-person events, go say thank you and make sure that you let him know that you really enjoy being at Global Hack Weeks and using all of those partner technologies. Thank you, Ryan, for doing all of the different things that he does for the events team. And this is not just around digital events that we organize, but also in-person events, and all of the things that we do on the events land is credited to Ryan and him helping us out with all of those different things. You also saw him during opening, where he did a little bit of a quick GenAI demo where he used GenAI tools for just 5 minutes to build a quick hack. And I think that was a chat interface where by the end of 5 minutes, you were able to talk to Gemini and you were able to get responses. I don't really remember what we did. Oh, I think we asked Gemini to tell us what Global Hack Weeks were, and I think got a good enough response from it, from what I remember. If you're in the chat, if you were there, tell me if I'm remembered this correctly. But thank you, Ryan, for coming in and giving us that demo and telling us how cool GenAI is. And last but not the least, Mary, for all the good stuff that she does for. And I think when I say this, if my memory is serving me correctly, Mary has been around for all of the different Global Hack Weeks that we have run until now. So you know how important Mary is on the team and how important the work that she does is, and how much she's doing to serve the community overall. So huge thank you to all the three people on the slide, and also a huge thank you to everybody else that Cecilia thanked earlier.
And also Siddharth, because Siddharth is the reason that a lot of Global Hack Week happens. He's the one who's scheduling us behind the scenes, making sure that we have good content for you all, really making sure that things are top notch and reaching the standard of excellence that we always hope to serve you.
And that was completely not scripted.
No, absolutely not. No, it really wasn't. I'm just really good at talking.
I'm kidding.
Also, if you interrupted, I can interrupt too. So.
Sure.
So with that, thank you again to all of our partners who help make this week happen for you and every month's Global Hack Week. Make sure that you show your love for GitHub, Oracle, Auth0, TinyMC, and Figma, whether by giving them feedback on their streams, checking out their streams when they're live, or coming back and looking at views, interacting with them. They love to see a chance to see how their products are being used in the wild by hackers like you. So thank you again to the partners who brought us here today.
With that, I think we are at the end of time. Like we promised, you want to do another quick surprise prize before we leave?
Wouldn't hurt.
Do you have any ideas, any fun ideas from any inspirations from AIML Week or any inspirations from the themes that we just released?
Honestly, I think this is my first time being involved in these surprise swag things. So I'm just like, what's the limit? Like, I don't have constraints to guide my choices here. So I think I'll leave it up to you, actually.
Okay. Do you have any ideas of what questions we should ask? We generally ask them a question, and then out of everything that pops up in the chat, we just randomly select one person. Do you have any ideas of what questions to ask?
I feel like we've already asked, like, favorite stream or workshop, but maybe favorite mini event.
Yes, I really like that one.
What was people's favorite mini event this week?
We'll give them a few minutes to catch up, and I'm going to close. I'm going to closely watch for any questions that we may not have answered.
You made a puppy? Whoa, that's cool. I should really check out these origami streams.
Yes, you should. I don't know if you still have it around, but if you can share pictures on Discord, I really want to see all of the different origami.
I want to see it too. Like tag us.
Yes.
I want to see it. Oh, looks like we had a Bob Ross paint night. Oh, I do love a good Bob Ross paint.
Yes.
I actually got flamed really hard at a hackathon once. One of the organizers was like, "That's a house," and then like walked off laughing, and I was like, "Oh, okay, but I'm using a trackpad."
I think that's the fun of these mini events.
It is. Like, I knew I was going to be bad, but it also made sure that everyone else was therefore better than me. And I feel like that's just a different experience. Turns out, though, he's like, yeah, I would have done a worse job. And I'm like, you could have told me this before you flamed me.
But it's fun. So always when we run the Bob Ross paint, I try and not share what I paint because I know I'm terrible at art altogether. Yeah, that's a fun event though.
See, the cheat I've seen, though, is people use their iPads or their tablets. And I'm like, that's smart. I should do that. But it's really hard to share a tablet screen. You're absolutely right. I have never emotionally recovered from this. I mention this a lot.
Cool. I think we've just 2 responses here. Do we want to give away swag to both of them then?
I would say yes, because they've also been interacting with us for most of the stream, and I appreciate that energy.
Let's do that. We'll pin your comments one by one. Abhinav, congratulations. You've won yourself a surprise prize. I'm sure you know what to do. Click a screenshot, go to Discord, open up a ticket. We will know that you won one. Let us know when you're done clicking a screenshot so we can go to the next person here.
Good to go, seems like.
Looks like it. And congratulations to this person as well for winning surprise prize. Open up a ticket, tell us that you won surprise prize, share the screenshot there as well so we know you are the right person coming in to ask for a surprise prize, and I will take it up from there.
You may not have made it to Bob Ross, but you made it to random swag giveaway.
True. But I think that's our time. Cecilia, do you have any closing thoughts, closing notes? Do you have anything to share before we let everybody leave?
Honestly, I think the only thing I can say is I look forward to Global Hack Week Cloud, and I wonder what projects everybody's going to come up with.
Same here. I'm really excited to see all the good things that we're going to do, and I'm going to also try and come to more streams and be live. I think I've not streamed in a while. When I say stream, I've not done a technical workshop or a mini event. I'm planning to do one in Cloud Week, and maybe hopefully continue doing that for the next ones. So stay tuned. If you would want to come around and chat with me, I may be running something there, and I'm sure all the other streamers are going to do a better job than I would, but it
That
doesn't
sounds
hurt
like
to
you
come to
should
an
pair up
episode.
with a streamer and then you can just have more fun so it's not just you.
Good idea. Yes, we can always do that. Or I can always come around for today and Global Hack Week streams because we always pair people there.
True. All right, with that then, I think it's time for us to drop off and see everyone next Global Hack Week.
Yes. All right. Bye bye. See you on the next one.